She was just 23, living in a small American town where everyone knew your name, but nobody knew your pain. By day, she worked her part-time job, went through the motions, and tried her best to look normal. But by night, she chased a feeling she just couldn't escape, a feeling that had started to define her entire existence. It all began after a party. The music was loud, the faces were a blur, and the pressure of her small-town life felt suffocating. Someone offered her a couple of pills, whispering that they'd help her forget the stress, the fear, and the gnawing loneliness that seemed to follow her everywhere. That night, she felt something she hadn't felt in a long, long time. She felt powerful, confident, and completely free. She had no idea that this single decision, this one moment of escape, would quietly, insidiously, take control of her life. At first, it was just a weekend thing, a way to unwind. But soon, the weeks turned into months. The pills became stronger, the nights became longer, and her money started disappearing faster than her excuses. The initial high, that feeling of euphoria, was long gone. Soon she wasn't using drugs to feel good anymore. She was using them just to feel normal, just to get through the day without her body screaming in protest. The addiction had dug its claws in deep and she was trapped. Her friends started to notice the changes. The rapid weight loss that she tried to pass off as a new diet. The unpredictable mood swings, where she'd flip from happy to furious in seconds. The sudden, inexplicable anger that would erupt over the smallest things. But addiction is a master of disguise, especially when someone is drowning in shame, too embarrassed and afraid to ask for help. She built walls around herself, pushing away anyone who tried to get too close, anyone who might see the truth she was so desperately trying to hide. When the drug dealers stopped trusting her, when her IOS were no longer good, a chilling desperation took over. The need for the drug was a physical, all-consuming force. She started stealing small things at first. A $20 bill from a friend's purse, and a few items from a local store that she could quickly sell for cash. Each time a little piece of her old self died, replaced by a stranger she didn't recognize in the mirror. Then came the night she made the worst choice of her life. Already high, her judgment clouded, and her desperation at its peak. She got a call. Chance to make some quick money, an easy ride. That's what she was told. All she had to do was help move a package of drugs across town. It sounded simple. In her altered state of mind, it seemed like the only logical solution to her problems. The money would let her pay off her debts and get another fix. The risk felt distant, unreal. At 2:40 in the morning, the road was dark and empty. Then, in the rearview mirror, flashing red and blue lights sliced through the darkness. Her heart hammered against her ribs so hard she thought it would break. Her hands, clammy and trembling, gripped the steering wheel. Panic, cold and absolute, flooded her veins. The drugs, hidden poorly under the passenger seat, were found within minutes. By sunrise, the illusion of control had completely shattered. She was sitting in a cold, sterile interrogation room, no makeup to hide behind, no confidence left to fake, no escape route to plan. The harsh fluorescent lights exposed every flaw, every fear, and for the first time in a very long time, she cried. Not quiet, self-pitying tears, but racking, gut-wrenching sobs. She admitted everything. The whole story came pouring out: the loneliness, the first pill, the spiral, the stealing, the desperation. The official police report read drug possession with intent to distribute. When the judge looked at her file, he saw a criminal, another statistic in a never-ending war on drugs. But behind that black and white paperwork, behind the mugshot and the cold, hard facts, was a young girl who had lost her way, a girl who lost control to the powerful grip of addiction. Today, she's in recovery. It's a hard daily battle. Her criminal record follows her everywhere, a constant reminder of her past, closing doors to jobs and apartments. But so does her story. Her story has become a warning, a lesson written in the cold steel of handcuffs and the harsh reality of a prison cell. The moral here is painfully simple. Addiction doesn't care who you are, where you're from, or what your dreams are. It's an indiscriminate predator. But one choice, that single decision you make in a moment of weakness or curiosity, can end up deciding who you become. Her story isn't just about her. It's about the countless others who are one bad decision away from the same fate. It's a reminder to be compassionate, to look for the signs, and to understand that behind the label of addict, there is always a human being who needs help, not judgment. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, please know that you are not alone and help is available. There are resources, hotlines, and support groups that can guide you toward recovery. Reaching out is the first and most powerful step. It's a sign of strength, not weakness. Thank you for listening. Please share this story. It might just reach someone who needs to hear it the most. Take care.